All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We've got Dark in the top left side of the map up against SERRAL in the bottom right. It's the Masters Coliseum 6. And let's see if SERRAL for Basilisk can get revenge against Dark. Dark took out Raynor. Raynor admittedly has been on holiday during this tournament and did play Protoss in a bunch of his games. Spoiler alert, I guess. Just spoiled it. I mean, if you guys aren't... Watch the games in order. Watch the games. I'm sorry. Sometimes there are spoilers of previous series, but it is what it is. That's part of the interesting story I want to talk about in this game. So if there is a backstory from a previous series, it is what it is. I will occasionally spoil things. Anyways, point being... Wait, Dark's gas. What the hell? That went down at a minute 54. 54 seconds. That went down at 54 seconds into pool being on 15 as well. Okay, so this is 16 hatch. And then it's like 15 or 16 gas, 15 pool, something like that. So this is a very early Ling rush from Dark. Not quite a dumbass build, but definitely he's looking to rush speedlings at least to kill SERRAL's third base, maybe looking for more. SERRAL is doing a pretty standard opening. So I think ideally SERRAL will wall off his natural, give up his third base, and be okay here. But he's going to need to react very quickly because the Ling speed will be very fast for Dark. And I imagine Dark will probably stop at about 23 or 24 drones and then flood those Lings out. We'll keep our eyes on it. He might drone. A lot of people like to do weird roach all-ins behind that as well, but I don't think in this case, this particular build, it would make sense. So Ling speed starts. He's pulled only one worker off gas, which makes me think Dark might go for a Ling Bane all-in. Because it's surprising to still be mining a bunch of gas here. You can see the Overlords poke in for both sides. And the thing is, look, SERRAL sees 2 drones. He's like, yeah, that's totally normal. You got 3 drones. I've got 3 drones. So he's really showing SERRAL what SERRAL wants to see to confirm that it's a quote-unquote normal game. But Lings are already starting here. 4 Lings are coming out, just 2 going across the maps. The other Lings, notice Dark's hidden them. He's hiding Lings behind his natural, behind his main. And yeah, he's got 2 queens. He's pumping Lings. He's actually fully pulled off gas now. So that's why I was saying it was weird that he stayed on gas at all. Double inject comes down for him. SERRAL's going for the purple base. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is... Well, I mean, you know what? That actually might be good for SERRAL, because he's going to be so sure he can't defend that when he sees these Lings flood out, that he should make the decision to give it up and cancel it much quicker and wall off with an Evo chamber, which is absolutely what SERRAL needs to do, guys. The Lings are about to come out in the next 10 to 15 seconds. The Ling speed's almost done. Let's watch this from SERRAL's camera. So SERRAL's scouting. He's denied at the front. He's seen a 3rd hatchery. He's droning, he's injecting, he's building 10 Lings. That's really good. Okay, he's building 10 Lings. His Baneley nest is only 20 seconds away. He sees the Lings coming out on the minimap. Does he notice it? He notices it. Okay, he's got to give up that base. He has to give that base up right now. He hasn't made the decision to give it up. Oh no, SERRAL, don't go out there. No, SERRAL, you're being baited, mate. It's a 19 drone all in. SERRAL coming out front his natural. He's being baited into the open. This is very bad for SERRAL. I think that's a free win for Dark, honestly. Yeah. SERRAL did not realize how committed this was. Oh, that is brutal. Ling's skirmishing right now. He's already lost his queens. He might be up 10 workers, but how does he ever catch up? I mean, the Banelings you might think are good, but look, the Lings are in his main base fighting his drones. SERRAL is getting overwhelmed. Dark with a beautiful cheeky all in the drones there. Notice they're all stacking for SERRAL. He was trying to fight, but he's got to micro his natural at the same time. You can't mineral stack those drones at the same time. And Dark surprises him. SERRAL did not realize how deep that push was. Let me point out exactly. So he thought, oh yeah, it's going to be like 20 Zerglings. But he was thinking 24, 25 drones. So this is where SERRAL screwed up, guys. SERRAL looks up here. He sees those Lings at about 3:15 with Ling speed already finished. And at this point, you have to know you've been duped. SERRAL, I don't think in his mind realized how early this was. I think he was like, oh, my Baneley nest is almost done. This is like pretty... No, dude. Why is his Ling speed like good 25, 30 seconds earlier than yours? This is a massively committed push. If the Ling speed's done at 320, 325, it's a kind of fast Ling speed. Not that big a deal. SERRAL's is going to finish in 11 seconds. So he's going to finish 327, yeah. But finished already at 315, lots of Lings flooding out. He had to just give the base up, build an Evo there, get your queens and Lings holding the choke point, more for Baneling behind the ramp, and you'll be completely fine. He's so far ahead in drones. This is the easiest win of all time if SERRAL recognizes what's happening. But he has a split second to make that decision, and he didn't get the read. He thought this was a lighter pressure, and I think it was probably the frame, because I want to show you guys just 1 second, because notice, if we go back, what does he make this read off? If you look at his camera here, watch this, I'll pause. That's what he saw. He already looked away. So he sees 8 lings. To him, it doesn't look that scary. It's just 8 lings. So he was thinking about, oh, there's a ling pressure coming. Better defend that third base rather than, oh God, why is there ling speed this early? He doesn't realize there is another 10 lings behind that and another 14 about to pop. Really nice all in from Dark. Hides it well, disguises it well with the fake third base. Well played. All right, guys, nice game 1 victory, and Dark is not building a drone. What in the hell? The man is going for a 12 gas 11 pool, the fastest possible Zergling Baneling all in. Man. Now, remember, Solar cheesed the heck out of SERRAL recently, and SERRAL showed weakness to it. SERRAL has just died again to an early all-in. Solar is recently 5-0 in maps versus SERRAL, which is crazy. Solar has been destroying SERRAL. 2 big series in a row. Now, don't get me wrong, SERRAL still has a dominating win record versus Solar if you look at them all time, but recently, Korean cheese has been finding its mark. The thing is, are we really expecting SERRAL to not be able to adapt and adjust? I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, remember, Solar did a non-ling speed version. He just did a Zergling Baneling all-in. But I think if you're going to do that, you go to pool before gas. So I'm pretty sure Dark is still going to make ling speed. He's going to do the 1-base ling bane. And I think what he'll do is he'll hide 8 lings. So he'll run around this Overlord. Just as it's getting to here, the lings will sneak out the bottom or the top, dodge the Overlord, and then hopefully surround SERRAL's first queen, maybe get some damage like that. Now, SERRAL's done a very standard opening, 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 spawning pool, goes down on a minute 13, so his build is crisp. Ling speed starts up for Dark, and already he's building 6 lings. So 6 lings before ling speed. Interesting. He wants to make sure he gets these 8 lings across the map as quickly as possible. Notice with this build, there is no queen. This build, you do not build the queen because a queen wastes 2 supply. And then if you have 2 supply chewed up on a queen, then you need to build an Overlord. And that all takes the momentum away from the pressure. The problem with this build is even though the first wave hits very hard and fast, fastest possible Baneling Nest, very fast ling speed, lots of Zerglings, it has no reinforce. The follow-up of this is like getting hit by a wet piece of spaghetti in the face. That's how much power it has. It's not even 1-base Ling Bane production. It's literally a hatchery with no queen injecting it. It is a trickle of Zerglings. SERRAL has 2 queens, has 2 Zerglings. The lings are about to show themselves. SERRAL finds out what's happening. Luckily, he didn't start any more drones. He immediately starts a spine crawler on his main base. Quick reaction so far, but can he save this queen? She's going to pop out and probably get surrounded, so I doubt it. He's trying to build a lot of Zerglings. As SERRAL, you have 8 more drones. You have a massive economy advantage. And a queen and an Overlord finally being built here by Dark. I actually thought he'd build 4 more Zerglings. I think you should always go 4 more lings before getting the Overlord and the queen. Dark is saying, no, just my first 12 lings and banelings, and 2 banelings will get it done. Which is interesting. This is a different way to how most people used to do this build, but it might be the more modern interpretation. He gets the queen surround, very nicely done. SERRAL's trying to get that baneling. Oh, he gets it. He gets the last hit. Great micro by SERRAL. He gets that baneling. He does lose the queen, but he's killed a Zergling and a baneling. He's bought himself a bit of time, which means he's got a queen in the main, a baneling nest. Oh, look at the Zerglings on hold position. These guys here and those guys there on hold position. He's blocking the entrance to the mineral line. So if the banelings try to come in, they have to blow up or focus down these lings, and you can do the same thing there, and there. A single Zergling or drone can block any of those. And he's even using the cocoon since they have 50 hit points. Very smart play by SERRAL. Now, unfortunately, he's popping lings out here. They're just getting surrounded, so the units lost tab is, of course, amazing for Dark. But Dark is hugely committed. He needs more damage. SERRAL, you need to block these entrances. Oh, he takes a 2-for-3 defensive trade, and that is going to make Dark think twice. Dark is going to drone up, take his expansion, and Dark is saying, okay, we're not going to get in there. His wall-off's too good. But what I can do is I can slow SERRAL down from taking the natural. How does SERRAL get his spine and queens down here? He's got to spread creep. And that's why if you can even snipe that creep tumor, it's actually so effective. Zergling goes in. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't quite. If he got the creep tumor, that would be massive. There's every delay on those queens and spine getting down here. You might be down on workers as Dark, but you've got an expansion coming up and you can just drone freely behind this. Yeah, you still got to invest in a baneling here or there. Let's see exactly what he can do to slow SERRAL down. SERRAL's still up 5 workers and he's continuing to drone, realizing, yeah, my expansion might be later, but I'm mining way more than you right now on 1 base. And as time goes on, like once this base is done, I'm going to send heaps of drones down here. So even though it's later, I should still be fine. Great positioning by SERRAL. Now, if you have 3 banelings near a hatchery, you can click on it the moment it starts and you will 100% be able to kill it. They won't have time to cancel. 2 banelings, you need to do it almost the second it starts to pull that off though. Oh, Dark. Okay, he does sacrifices the Baneling to get the queen. Well done. Dark's still adding units lost. He's trying to maintain a little bit of pressure, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop this. He needs to, at this point, get some defense at home. So he should send 2 Zerglings at home to morph into defensive Banelings, because if he loses a fight, Serral's going to counterattack very hard with Ling Bane. He's got to be really careful. He's actually built a bunch more Zerglings. You can see Dark is still down in the workers. He's got, though, the hatchery up a good 40 seconds earlier. 2 queens are injecting. Well, he's going to 3 queens now, so he'll try to get there. But interestingly, Serral droning up to 31 drones, and he's built a Roach Warren. And I have a feeling Serral's just going to try and Roach Bane him. He's got enough gas for 8 Roaches already. So keep your eyes out. If Serral starts building Overlords here, then we know he's going to commit to some big aggressive attack, because you'll want to build 2 Overlords, 8 Roaches, rally Ling Bane behind it, and go. That next bit of spending for Serral tells us a lot about his intentions. 3 Roaches. But he doesn't have that much supply free, so he does need an Overlord if he really wants to make this work. He's making more and more Roaches, though. Dark is thinking about a 3rd base. Dark's still down in workers. I think Serral defending the main base without losing any drones was crucial. I think Dark needed to maybe flank around the left side of the mineral line and the right at the same time. Maybe he could have got in there, because Serral had not held position units in between all the gaps in the minerals. Serral does feel like he's a little ahead. Dark has finally taken the worker advantage, but now there's 5 Roaches coming out, and it's a fake push, guys. Serral's scaring him with this. It's not a real push. Dark doesn't have a Roach Warren, guys. He just cancelled, I think, an Evo Chamber. Starts a Roach Warren, starts 2 spines. If Serral can just cancel his 3rd, guess what? He's fine. Serral's got a lair, +1 range, and drones coming up behind it. And Dark is having to overreact by making Mass Ling Bane and 2 spines. He cancels the hatchery. Guess what? Serral's just going to walk home. I think Serral's going to see all this. He's probably not even going to commit. Serral's just going to be like, oh, cool. Made you scared. No. Dark needs to cancel those spines right now. You can't be wasting any more money on this. Oh, Dark, his spines are finishing. His lair starts. He's going to start going gases. Lair's already done for Serral. Serral's got this one in the bag. Yeah. In hindsight, Dark should have been taking this 3rd base, I think, further away from the push. And he should have been backstabbing with the Zerglings rather than pulling back. Easy to say in hindsight. But definitely looked like he was just a little too far behind from the opening, which is why he needed to have such a perfect follow-up. Oh, Serral, you cheeky boy! He missed it. He wasn't watching. He didn't have vision, so he was looking elsewhere. He did miss what would have been a beautiful, sneaky Baneling. Did Dark notice, though? I don't think Dark noticed. Oh, my God. Oh, my God! No! Oh, Dark actually had a fair bit of time to respond, but he didn't do it. Youchies. Roach speed, +1 on the way. So many drones for Serral that he's going to rally over to that 3rd in the near future. Look at all these Banelings. Such a worthless investment once you're in the Roach game. So Dark, he's dumped all this money into Banelings. He doesn't have a use for it. He's going to drop a Spire now. Where's that Spire? I mean, he's got to start his Spire and Roach speed. But he's looking so down and out. He's behind in everything right now. And Serral, with a handful of units, is causing so many problems for him. Oh, these Banelings! Oh, Serral's Baneling's getting bigger. What can Dark do? He's trying to make Roaches, but he's got no tech behind it. He doesn't have a follow-up. It just feels like Dark's too far behind to make a good, effective play here. Like, Serral's scouting. Serral might actually mind game himself and go, oh my God, he's hiding something. Because he's going to see, like, no Evo Chamber Roach play. Okay, there is an Evo at the front. +1 finally starts as Serral's finishes, but yeah, he's going to be like, wait, no Spire? Really? Are you sure? We can see the Spire went down in the main, of course, after the Overseer passed by. Tunneling Claw Roaches, +2, Burrow. 7 more drones for Serral, so he's going to go up to 60 workers. He's got 17 Speed Roaches on the map against just 8 of Dark. And he might actually be able to just force a fight, because no Roach Speed or +1 yet for Dark. Lings are going to go in and try and take out a drone or 2. Nice micro with those drones blocking the Zerglings from getting to their targeted location. A lot of times players will click Zerglings to a point and then let them fight. But if you block them from actually getting to that point, they're still trying to complete the move command before they start fighting. Of course, a single Zergling survives, sees the Spire. It's going to make Serral probably think about pushing in, but with the Spine Crawlers and the Queens at the front, it's hard to break that. Serral's going to go Hydra down here. I've seen a lot of pros play Hydras recently. I always feel Hydras are... they're okay. But I don't know. I've always found the Roach Hydra style tough to pull off. Yet the top pros insist that if they're playing Mutas into Roaches rather than Mutas into Banelings, it is pretty good. Dark's only on 49 workers. He's barely mining off that 3rd. He should be running out of minerals in his main in the near future. You can see these mineral patches are all starting to run out. Roaches on the left. Oh, the tunneling boys. The boys are in the yard, guys. I think Dark might even realize, yeah, he's making overseers. He knows. He sees the tunneling claws on the front, but the roaches are unburrowing. Starting to take out the queen in the main. Queen and roaches in the natural do defend for now, but these roaches doing well. Big fight at the front at the same time. +1 not quite done for Dark yet. SERRAL's roaches doing exceptionally well. And he's just too far ahead off the opening. Great defense in the main base for SERRAL. All right, the series is tied up 1-1. Dark now in the top right of a very big map, Ancient Cistern. Hard to pull out those super early cheeses on this map. So once you get up link speed, you know, you can always cross that map pretty quickly. SERRAL in the bottom left. Not going for any 15, hatch 15 pool safety builds. Just playing very standard. And definitely going to be feeling a bit more confident after defending one of the cheeses. Because, I mean, some of those series like versus Solar, it felt like was just every attack he was doing, SERRAL was just not quite ready for and was like maybe misreading what was happening a bit. That first game, it was kind of the same vibe. Korean player hits you with surprising timing. You don't quite understand what's happening until a bit too late. And you go, oh man, really? I didn't even get a chance to play, dude. Pig, isn't Thursday your day off? What's up, guys? Thursday is normally not a day off. It's a day off Twitch, where I'm normally doing a lot of planning and YouTube content all day, but I decided to stream because later tonight I'm going to be casting the Pigfest qualifiers. That's going to be ruining my sleep schedule tonight and tomorrow night. Pigfest itself is next week. Really excited to cast that. So, obviously that's going to disrupt the streams for the next few days. So while my sleep schedule's still good, you know, woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. Good time to get in here and cast some games nice and early. And I'm really curious to track these storylines because SERRAL, his big weakness has been ZvZ versus Solar recently. Dark is a really good aggressive player as well. Not as clean as Solar, so there's an argument I think that Solar's timing attacks are just harder to stop than Dark's. Dark is more unpredictable though, I think. Harder to read, right? Solar came in there with sniper builds planned. And we've seen periods, like a few years ago, I believe it was Katowice 2020, was it 21, 22? Jeez, I can't even remember now. It was the first one back at LAN, I believe, where Basics, I think it was 2022. And yeah, Dark basically played the most turtley late game styles ever in ZvZ, and he destroyed, like, he looked unmatched in the late game in that tournament. And that's so funny because we think of Dark as being such an aggressive mid-game guy. And he was like, oh, I'm just going to play slow late game. And like, he was out lurkering, out vipering everyone. I think SERRAL might have ended up beating him in that tournament, but it was like very close, big hive tech, 5-base versus 5-base lurker viper battles. And I think like Dark was often winning the games, but then he just got a bit overeager and like did what Dark does, you know, where he grabs 25 lurkers and just shoves them into the opponent's natural. And SERRAL was ready for it. It didn't work. And it was like, oh, damn, you were winning all game. I think it was on 2000 Atmospheres. I think it was that map pool. Hopefully I'm remembering the tournament correctly. Someone will remember the games I'm thinking of. It was actually Raynor that ended up beating him on 2K. Oh, it was Raynor. Okay. Yeah, I remember he was beating Raynor pretty hard in that late game. And then he Dark just kind of decided to give up half of the map to kill a few bases of Raynor, but Raynor came out way on top. And then Dark started getting a bit desperate. Anyways, let's talk about the builds, guys. Very standard so far. It doesn't look like either side's taking any risks. SERRAL's building a few more Zerglings, whereas Dark is like, oh, I can defend with 4 Zerglings and a few queens. Like, I'll build a 3rd queen in the main. This queen can spread some creep to the 3rd to get some mobility. SERRAL's doing pretty much the same thing, just with a few Zerglings to cover himself. Now, a normal Zerg player would pressure with these. SERRAL always builds these Zerglings for safety, and he's happy to be down a few drones as long as he can deny his opponent's information. Dark Zerglings, probably waiting to try to sneak into the base. SERRAL's actually going to go pressure. Wow, he very rarely does that. No, he's just sending 2 of them to scout. And he actually scouts Dark's scouting lings, hilariously enough. And let's see if Dark can get in. Both players start a Roach Warren at 350. Very safe play on both sides. Either side could turn that into aggression. Dark did see the Roach Warren, right, guys? Yeah, he saw the Roach Warren. SERRAL hasn't seen that yet. So SERRAL's Zerglings down here. Just chilling for now. Drone count up 4 for Dark. SERRAL's building another bunch of Zerglings. He's going to go for a big Ling Bane pressure. He's making 2 Banelings there. He's going to make more up here as well. Oh, SERRAL's going hard, guys. SERRAL is going hard right now. He's going to go for it. I think he's going to morph more Banelings here, right? Yeah, he's morphing more Banes right in Dark's face. SERRAL, you mad dog. Oh, he splits 3 Zerglings off. He wants to detonate that Baneling. He doesn't mind losing a few Lings for it. As long as it opens up the floodgates to get in here, if he can get rid of these Baneling cocoons, he thinks he can win this game. One Baneling goes down. Oh, another one goes down. The Baneling's coming in for big damage. Dark has to pull back to his Wolof. Remember, Dark was being greedy at this whole early game because it's very uncharacteristic for SERRAL to do this sort of randomling Bane timing. He's using Dark-style tactics against him. Dark, that third base is in the open. Those drones should all go down, and they will. Oh, the Banelings, though, come out and get a good, juicy hit. Dark has a few roaches for safety. As long as he keeps his Banelings alive, Dark should be solid here. He's got a reserve few Banelings, but he's lost 4 drones, and of course, SERRAL has droned behind this. Oh, good counterattack attempt from Dark. But SERRAL says, you don't have lethality anymore. Once there's only one Baneling, they'll regen. Unless Dark can get some Zerglings in to finish them off, it's a big advantage for SERRAL. Evo Chamber goes down. He's building a couple of roaches for his own safety as well, in case this does turn into a big attack, but 10 roaches, 3 Banelings, no Zerglings behind it. He's trying to scare SERRAL. SERRAL's Zergling comes in there and he sees drones popping out, which tells him that this attack does not have any teeth. Was SERRAL looking though? Because he's still got a Spinecrawler on the way, which tells me that he might be overestimating it. We know that SERRAL's got the correct read when he cancels this and makes the lair. He goes in with another Zergling and now he confirms, and you should see SERRAL cancel this Spinecrawler. The lair start, extra gases go down. Oh, he's forgotten about the spine. Uncharacteristic mistake for SERRAL. And as I say it, no, of course he remembers. Just in time to cancel that and get the money back. Now, his +1 upgrade is very delayed. I believe he might have even canceled that for that. People in the Twitch chat may have caught if he ever started it or not. But he's going to be behind about 50 seconds on +1. And his lair is going to be behind just a couple seconds. That being said, SERRAL's up 8 workers. So he's still in the overall better position. Having more workers is the most powerful thing in StarCraft. You can have a tech advantage, and you can only really use it in the way that tech works. Say you have Mutalisks, well, okay, you can clear up map vision, you can deny their vision, you can try to do damage with it. But if you have an economy advantage, you can turn that into anything. Because economy is the best thing to have in StarCraft, because you can use it to get what you need in the situation, right? You have more workers, that's more money. Money buys everything. Money makes the StarCraft world spin around. And that's exactly what SERRAL's got an edge in. Now, don't get me wrong, Dark's not too far behind. Similar supply, he's actually slightly up. He's caught up in the workers. He's only down 2. His 4th base is only about 10 seconds behind as well. So I quite like that situation for Dark. Now, SERRAL comes in. He's going to commit his Lings for a cancel on the 4th. And he's going to get the drone just to make sure it takes a lot longer to rebuild. Dark has to pull a new drone over to rebuild that base from his 3rd. Speed Overseer flies through. You can see SERRAL's already going Hydroden because he's expecting there to be Mutalisk play. Dark is obsessed with Mutalisks. He loves Mutaroach. But he's not doing it this game, and I think that's a good call for Dark. Now, Dark goes for a second Evo, as does SERRAL, so they're both going to add Carapace upgrades. SERRAL's going for a Drop-a-Lord. Looks like he might do a Roach drop in the main. Dark's Overlord speed, not quite done, but he's also scouting SERRAL to get a good idea of what's going on. It looks like a gentleman's agreement, guys. A Finnish Zerg and a Korean Zerg meet up and they say, all right, here, meet me in the center of the ring. Mass Roach versus Mass Roach. Are we going to swing Roaches at each other? And I mean, normally I'd say you swing and punches at each other, but Roaches technically don't punch, they vomit on each other. For those who don't know, they have acid saliva, guys. That's their literal weaponized vom. You know, it's a bunch of, I mean, I guess it's not really daiquiris. I always think of like, you know, a bunch of teenagers drinking daiquiris or something stupid, but it's green, isn't it? So what's the green drink? Oh, Midori. So basically a bunch of teenagers have cracked into their parents' liquor cabinet. They got a bottle of Midori, and that's essentially how the Roaches get their weapons. Roach drop coming in the main. Tunneling Claws is on the way. SERRAL's a very good Tunneling Claw player in this matchup. He's also been doing it against Terran a lot recently as well. The drop comes in, drop turns around immediately. I like that. And SERRAL's not using the Hydroden until he feels there's a need. He comes in. Oh, SERRAL with the goop. Well, there goes the upgrade advantage of Dark. Contaminate going to stop that +2. SERRAL's up 25 supply right now. Equal workers, 74 for each side. It is equal upgrades, just +1 versus +1. But SERRAL has more Roaches right now. And look at this. Lings on the top. Roach drop in the main that's going to run past the main into the natural. And he's distracting down here. Dark pulled a few too many Roaches away. Dark's outnumbered on this front. The Roaches are in the mineral line. Not the best micro for SERRAL. He does burrow them though. Tunneling Claws isn't done, but Burrow's going to at least keep him alive for a little while. Distract him. Bile's getting good hits. Dark with very nice Bile micro. The Lings on the left still somehow doing okay. The drones do just try to defend. Dark is trying to hold on right now. He's got to defend. The Bile's landing on the Overlords. You can tell Dark's a little messy in how he's handling this, but he's got Defender's advantage. I don't think SERRAL can break him here. But SERRAL already distracted his mining a little bit. SERRAL lost 8 drones during all this. I don't know what happened, guys. I'm going to imagine some banelings walked into one of these mineral lines because he went from 74 down to 60-something, 62 drones or 64 drones. I know he did build some buildings, some hatcheries and gases and stuff, but looks like definitely he lost something. Roach Ravager coming forward. Midori literally means green in Japanese, for those who don't know. Someone pointed that out. Yep. That's why it's called green, because it's green. Isn't it like melon flavored or something? I haven't had that since I was like 15. Roach Ravager dancing in and out right now. Let's see where they go. Roach is going into the main base. Infestation Pit trying to go down. SERRAL finds a good fight, but it might be a trap. Careful, SERRAL. SERRAL gets ahead of himself. Dark with the punish. Gets a pretty good fight there, but on the right side, it looks like, oh, SERRAL's making up for it with the roaches in the bottom right. I love that flank in from Dark in the top left, and he should get a good fight here, but he's a little low on overseers right now, and it makes me question if Dark's using control groups right now. He's got only one army group. Everything is manual for him, so his overseers keep getting lost in the source, guys. They keep getting... They're both on the wrong side of the map. He has no overseers at home, and he's not making any. Guys, Dark is relying on spore crawlers for detection, which means he cannot hunt down the roaches when they move out of range. Finally, he morphs his first defensive overseer. That is a huge mistake for Dark. That is a massive mistake. These roaches are wasting so much time, and they're just hanging out everywhere. He's giving SERRAL way too much freedom to screw with him. You know, I can hear people out there screaming, make a Raven, Terran players. Well, there's an actual decent excuse for Terrans because it's kind of awkward getting a starport on a tech lab. There's no excuse for not making an overseer when they've got tunneling claw roaches. None at all. Nice bile defense there for Dark, coming with a lot more roaches and ravagers. Dark is way down on workers, though, and he's down on the units lost. SERRAL is finding efficiency. Roaches on burrow all over the shop, man, and SERRAL's shoving in on the front at the same time. This man lives in the burrowed roach multi-prong game. He's so comfortable in it. I always joke that SERRAL got burrow healing nerfed because they used to make burrowed healing crazy fast once you got tunneling claws. There was a patch where it was like insanely fast, and SERRAL's roaches never died in that patch. I always joke that's why they removed that change, is because he's so good with them, and just a very good multi-prong for SERRAL after that Lingbane pressure that already gave him a little bit of a lead going into the mid-game. Gets a 2-1 advantage. All right, guys. He's got to fight back now. He had a good start to the series, but that last game just overwhelmed by the burrowing roaches. Definitely a bit slow on the defensive overseers. Dark playing very standard in the bottom left. SERRAL going back to 15-15. I think he might be anticipating some cheese out of Dark, so he said, let's play super safe. And the Basilisk boy is fighting back. Extractor trick into an Overlord, and then a spawning pool is the standard 15-15 build order. SERRAL mixes this in pretty much more than any other pro, and he really shows an understanding of the strengths of it. 2-base aggression is very powerful off this, and likewise stopping really early aggression from your opponent is very easy because you don't really care about taking a 3rd base fast. With this build, you can just drone 2 bases up very fast, be very safe, and also he's recently been teching up very quickly versus Terran, so I'm wondering if he's going to do that versus Zerg, because I actually feel, excuse me guys, burping to the microphone like a savage, I feel like going for the fast layer is incredibly powerful simply for your ability to scout everything that's happening in the game, and it can actually be really nice. Spawning pool gas. All right, what else is going to be going on? So the gas went down, yeah, minute 25. It's pretty standard for SERRAL with this build. Interestingly, he's sending a drone to the natural, which is a bit different. I guess he's only planning to put 2 workers on gas this game. You know what? I just realized I think this is actually what he did versus Terran as well, and I forgot. I've been copying this build, but I've been putting 3 workers on gas. That drone going to the natural is actually so much better because you don't get that much mining out of the 3rd worker on gas. Oh my god, it's so funny. I literally studied the build order and then I forgot that this is how you're meant to do it. I'm so simple. All right, Twitch chat's gonna call me out next time I'm trying SERRAL's this opening. We're gonna immediately do that. And the way you normally do it is you go straight for 4 queens and then you start a layer right after the 2nd queen pops in the main. And this allows you to drone up really hard as well. So usually you purposely want to get supply blocked just for a moment on 36 because you want to go 2 queens, 2 drones, then you start the Overlord on 35 normally is when he does it. He's actually going to do 36 Overlord this time. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. So he'll build an Overlord and then he'll go for that next little bit. Dark's just doing a standard 3rd hatch and he's not pulled off gas, which means he could go for a pretty quick Baneling Nest, but he hasn't started it just yet. So there we go. Double Overlord for SERRAL. And yeah, he's going to go for a lair. You can just do straight mutas off this build while walling off with an Evo and a Roach Warren is very safe. You can go straight Roaches. There's a few different ways to play it. Sees the third base. And you can see he's already building those 8 drones the moment those Overlords pop, along with his lava injects. Lair starts. Queen's going to the natural. He's going to start spreading creep. Very easy to wall this map off, which I think is part of why he's doing this here as well. Evo chamber in the wall off will help him out. And a second gas goes down in that main base. Let's also put a third worker on gas now. Now, Dark's going to go Evo chamber. I think Dark will probably play Carapace. What I'd like to see from Dark is Carapace, probably 2 gases, maybe 3. Stop at about 45 workers and just make Roaches and Lings on hatch tech. And when SERRAL moves out with a push, or when he goes out to take a third, you go for a big shove and try to cancel it. But you've got to try to hide what you're doing, because that's a no lair play. And yeah, that's exactly what Dark's doing. So second and third gas goes down. He's droning up. But he's not going to be able to get tech with this build. Notice SERRAL's already been up in about 8 workers for quite a bit in this game. You can already see SERRAL's income. Several hundred resources more a minute. That's already been going for about 2 minutes. So this is the advantage of how quickly he saturates his bases. He now explodes into 4 gas play. Roach speed in +1. Very straight up 2 base roach play for SERRAL. He's going to start making roaches. And probably move out to take a third. Yeah, I don't even know. Actually, can you really be aggressive against this with Carapace? If I think about it, as long as SERRAL doesn't attack him, Dark's build sucks. I was like, oh, I want Dark to do this. And now I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, Dark's too far behind in drones. There's no way he can make this work. He's already made 19 Zerglings. He's now making 7 Roaches off just 36 workers. He's going to try and flood Lings across to cancel a third base, but SERRAL's like not even built the third base. SERRAL's just like, yeah, it's fine. He's trying to deny the Overlords with the Queens. That's why he was dropping creep. He's got plenty of Roaches there. As long as he leaves a Roach in the wall or a Queen in the wall, can't really trade Ravagers and Morphing. But the moment these Ravagers show themselves, SERRAL's just going to sit at home defensively. And he's up 8 workers. The income, look at the income, guys. He's up 500 resources, 450 resources a minute being mined. Don't attack SERRAL. Oh, okay, SERRAL's trying to go for a push. This is the problem. SERRAL hasn't scouted the third. This could hand the win to Dark. If Dark gets a good enough surround, he will be very happy. If Dark can just surprise him, so Dark has to hide his numbers and flank from 2 sides to stop SERRAL escaping the surround. The only way this works for Dark is if he surrounds it and lands the Biles in the middle. He's got 6 Ravagers. He needs big Biles. SERRAL is coming across with everything, guys. 4 Queens, non-stop Roach Ravager, no Queens left at home for injecting. He'd already queued a few extra injects up, but those are running out now. And SERRAL is going for broke. It's a very strong Roach Queen timing attack. 5 minutes 40 with 24 Roach Ravagers and the Queens. Dark does not flank. He does not get a surround. He tries to bio the Roach Ravager, but SERRAL just steps away. Remember, I said he needs to surround him because you need to stop SERRAL from dodging the bios. The only way you win this fight is stopping him from moving. And the first engagement, when you show your hand, is kind of what gives it away. So I think SERRAL's got this one in the bag. Just look at the supply difference. His opening was so much better. The 15-15, such a good build order. And I really feel a lot of the Zergs out there, the Terrans, the Protosses, have no understanding of this build yet. They really haven't put the time into studying it. And it just feels like SERRAL's catching Terran, Zerg, Protoss, everyone off guard with this opening. And they haven't really made the adjustments to fully understanding just how much this changes how good 2-base play is off of that opening build order. I mean, it is so much more stuff. Roach speed, +1, everything he's making. And Dark needed the perfect engagement in order to take that fight. Because this is an ambush army. It's all about overwhelming Lings around, drop Biles in the middle, and if you get mad value off those Biles, you can do it. But SERRAL saw it coming, and Dark just didn't set up that fight correctly. It's hard because SERRAL was doing a good job of splitting him. But I'll show you guys exactly what that fight should have looked like. I'll try to paint a bit of a picture for you. So I think he needed to keep Lings on the left. The problem is, notice how SERRAL kept scaring those Lings away. So I think what I would have tried to do is run Lings around the right. Problem, Overlord sees it. Overlord sees it. You can't really surprise it. How do you get a flank around without him seeing it? It's very tough. Maybe he should have just sent a lot of Lings around, come in from this ramp, but he definitely needed to like get a bit more of a wrap around. Whereas you could see Dark kind of just balled his whole army up. So I think the other thing he should have done is pulled his army back. Half of his army over here, half of his army here, wait for SERRAL to move deep into the opening, and then surround him. But you notice where he goes, he's kind of attacking SERRAL too early. And that's, I think, a big mistake. And it's partially because he knows he doesn't want to give SERRAL too much time, but look at this fight. His Ravagers are way behind his Lings, and SERRAL's around a corner, already with his whole army protected. This was the worst place for Dark to fight. Because Dark, like, how are you going to get us around on this? Your Lings can't even get by the left. They, like, one Ling can go through there at a time. Your Lings can go all the way around the right, but that's too slow. So this was a very bad engagement for Dark. I love Dark, great player, and this strategy can work out here, but you really need these biles to land. And as you can see, they really just don't. Very well played by SERRAL though, nice decisive push. I thought if he attacked into Dark, Dark had an opportunity, but you can see with the army supply and just how much Roach Ravager there was, it was always going to be a tough call. Really well played by SERRAL, and I love the decision to just commit to a super hard push. If you just look at the stats on this, hitting at 5 minutes 40 with 4 queens and 24 roaches, 4 of which are Ravagers, like that's a very hard push to stop. That is a crazy optimized push. SERRAL might have been planning to do this before the game even started, and I feel like this is the sort of build Alpha Star would have done, where it just does it 500 games in a row on the ladder and gets to 6k MMR, because it just is so efficient that it works a very high percentage of the time. GG, well played.